Well, hey everybody, the sign says Happy Father's Day. It's that time of year when we tell everybody Happy Father's Day. Well, I miss my daddy Bo. He was a good man. He had a tough lessons to learn in his life, but he was a good man. That was one of the things that when I woke up August 17, 2003, I had been depressed for a couple of years and really bad shape for a while. But I didn't say the date. Today is Saturday, the 15th of June. The year is 2024. Go figure. And yeah, my wife had left me after 20 years and I got bankrupt. So that was the night I cried out for help, and I haven't been the same since then. That's August the 17th, 2003. Everything in my life changed, even the way I thought changed. My mind became still, and I had been given a download, and over the next 3 to 6 months, I was able to travel back in time and heal the incidences between me and my earthly father, my daddy Bo Huggins from Greenville, Mississippi, bless his heart. He wanted me to come over and live with him, but I couldn't, even though I was consciously awake. I had been traveling with Emily and Joe, but after a couple of years of that, Emily was 87 and Joe was 91. So I was being foreclosed and kicked out of my house. The sheriff had nailed a door, a thing to the door, like, if you ain't out in 2 weeks. Well, that's when I went over and started. My daddy came and got me with my little junk stuff, loaded me up in his truck and took me back to Mississippi, to the home that I had grew up in part-time in Mississippi. And to tell you that the incidences that had been between me and my father had happened when I was 6 and 8 years old, and 14, and probably even some stuff that was when I was even 3 years old got removed out of his consciousness. By me going back in time, I was able to witness through his eyes and his body and his emotional feeling, and I could see through his eyes, but at the same time I could see through my 6-year-old self looking at the situation. And I realized that he was in pain. He had been suffering for a long time with his mental illness type situations, his alcoholism, his didn't love himself. And so I was able to start helping him heal his life and heal in his body even though he ultimately ended up with lung cancer. He went through it with such grace and such wisdom, and he laid his body down when he wanted to, just like Joe Turner did. Emily pretty much wanted to stick around. She was 97 when she passed. And Tupelo Joe was, I think, right at 96 or 97 when he passed. But he called me 3 days before he laid his body down and told me he was going to lay his body down. So that's a whole nother teaching I can get off into later. On a specific day, one day I may make a video about that. It's not taught in church, it's not taught in school, but indigenous tribes all over the world, they knew you could lay your body down when you reached the end of your path. When you've learned all your lessons and your body was shutting down, they knew there was a way to go out in grace. Well, that's what he did. He went out in grace. So, happy Father's Day to my father. I post some pictures while I'm talking about him, and you'll see the pictures and everything. May even figure out a way to make a slideshow about him. Yeah, he was my daddy Bo, and I love him. And he is, always has been, and always will be. The thing that he laid down in his body, it was not who he really is. If I was to tell you who he really is, by me telling you, I was able to see through his eyes and his aspect and his feelings and emotions. That means that I became one with him. And so when I healed it, it healed in me, it physically healed in him. I want to be able to teach everybody how to time travel and do that, but you got to intend for it to happen, and you got to practice being still, meditate, and you got to ask for this wisdom to come to you, and it will. I love all of y'all. Thank you for watching my channel. I really appreciate it. Y'all have a good day. I seen a bike rider go by as I was doing this. I want to see what he's doing. Bye-bye.